Hello there, my gorgeous soul peeps and soul fam. You are here with Tarot by Cassy for a collective reading today, asking what self-love message do you need to hear right now. So something a little bit different from the readings I usually do, because I've included some cards that will give us little ways to make a big change. So to actually get some specific real world advice on what you can do at the moment for yourself to help you love yourself. But also we have got the Dream Goddess Empowerment deck. Big moments, affirmations for when you need them most, and a journey to self-discovery, love and light mantra cards. So all of those will be listed in my description. But we're going to pull a few affirmation cards to see what it is that you need to hear about your situation, your self-love right now. So if you are feeling super loved up and wonderful in yourself, then you can easily still receive a message from this reading, especially given that I don't know what it's going to say yet. But if you're feeling super fully charged in the self-love department, don't feel like you don't need to stick around. But if you are beating up on yourself, being hard on yourself, overthinking, stuck in negative thought patterns, then this could be just what you need to give you a bit of a lift right now, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. So asking the Dream Goddess cards, what does my collective need to know at the moment about their self-love? Okay, take you to. We have got, that's the back of them, they're very pretty. We have got Gaia, Earth Goddess. The best way to be in this world, but not of it, is to expand your heart and imagine holding all life within your heart, with nothing and no one left out, even those you find the most difficult to love. Feel the majesty of beholding all sentient beings as your children. Your unique way of mothering exalts all life. So this could quite literally be referring to people who are mothers, stepmothers, parents in general, and feeling very burnt out. Maybe you have not given yourself love in a long time because you have been so busy loving everybody else around you. And I know this is asking you to do this, to take everyone into your heart with nothing left out, even those you find most difficult to love, which, yeah, it's not a skill I've necessarily mastered myself in my own spiritual life. We get there. We have good days and bad days, but I feel that this is speaking to someone who gives a lot of care and is not able to really take the time for themselves because they're always giving love to everyone, including those who are difficult to love. And then we have Inanna, Goddess of Procreation. You live in a holographic universe, and what you do to another, you do to yourself. In other words, the one you battle with is a shadowy aspect of yourself. One you haven't yet embraced. Very interesting. Okay, make love, not war, and the aspects of you and others that you find least appealing. With the heavens on your side, you'll be rewarded with blessings galore. So yeah, with this one saying about loving with your whole heart and not leaving anybody out. It could also be that you have some difficult relationships, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam, and maybe you have been giving love to people that don't deserve it. Maybe you have been actually sending a lot of hate their way, or just a lot of negativity, or maybe they have just been living rent-free in your head and you have been giving them too much thought, and it's resulted on you dwelling on a lot of negative things. So if that's resonating, stick around. Let's just get a couple more Dream Goddess cards to see if we can get any more information. This is asking you to give a lot of love to everybody, but I'm more inclined to say Black Madonna, Mother of Miracles, beautiful. I was about to say I'm more inclined to ask people to forgive those who have hurt them, but not necessarily to love them, at least not up close. I think sometimes we are taught in society that no matter what, especially when it comes to family, that family is family, and we must always put these people first and remain loyal to them. And for people in toxic relationships, and just a side note, today is Mother's Day, just out of interest, but as I said, the reading is timeless. Yeah, we put ourselves last to these people, even if they're not necessarily still in our lives, just overthinking about them, allowing them to live rent-free in our heads. So Black Madonna, Mother of Miracles, The most fertile soil is the blackest, and your darkest moments contain the seeds of your greatest illumination. Recognize that the power of all goddesses resides within you. To harness the enormity of this life force, connect with the deepest core of Mother Earth to become grounded, nurtured, and assisted in fostering the soul of the world. Okay, gorgeous soul peeps and soul fam, yes. Mother of miracles. So if there is something that has been really getting you down, in this case, I think it's more someone than something, possibly a very long ongoing situation, but there is a call for you out of self-love for yourself and caring for yourself to let go of whatever it is that this person has done to you, people have done to you, and to move on from it, allow it to float through you until you're in a position, and it might take you a lot longer than others depending on where you are at in your journey with this person. But if you're already moving on from them, they're no longer in your life, but you're still spending time dwelling on them, this self-love message is asking you to stop, to allow self-love for yourself to come in, for you to hold everybody in the regard of that you don't spend time hating on them. Allow that negativity to be released, and you can do that also by going out into nature. This is a very clear call to go to the deepest core of Mother Earth, to become grounded and feel nurtured and assisted in fostering the soul of the world. So in other words, the calmer and happier you are, the more you raise the vibration, the more that the vibration around you then becomes raised itself, and you are spending your time throwing light out into this world. So this is very much asking you for your own self-care and self-peace, to let any negativity that you have towards anyone else just go. Just let it go. Try to, and again, it's going to be obviously easier for some people than others. It really depends on what you've experienced and what you have gone through and what has been done to you, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. And if you are still here, the more this reading's gone on, the more heavy it has gotten. So if you are still here, I'm sorry for anything that you have experienced and that you have had to go through situations where you do then need to forgive others for what they have done. But we're going to now ask the Big Moments Affirmations cards what affirmation we need right now. And you can say these affirmations to yourself when you wake up in the morning, when you're feeling anxious, just when you've got some time to stare in the mirror and look yourself in the eye, and usually have a giggle as I do as you repeat your affirmations. All right. I release all resistance to money and allow it to flow freely into my life. Empty wallet, okay, that's very interesting. Could maybe not be feeling the love because somebody has been emptying your wallet. Maybe it's you're in a situation where someone has put you into financial strain and left you there. That's obviously only going to resonate with some people. Or it could just be that you're really stressing about money and that's creating a lot of negative feelings within you, and that's being released out into the world. I can choose to hold on to love and let go of grief, bereavement. So this really speaks to the cards up here. I think this one is just a random card, if I'm really honest, and I'm going to find it hard to work it into the overall reading. So that's going to resonate with potentially 1% of you, maybe more. But yeah, this all fits together very well. Choosing to hold on to love and let go of grief. I feel like that's a perfect way of saying what these two cards are saying. And I know it says bereavement, so if you have actually lost someone recently, I am really genuinely sorry. And again, I imagine that's only going to resonate with a small percentage of you, but it's still worth saying. Marriage. The better part of me aims to show up each day with my better half till death do us part. So maybe the person that you are feeling a bit negatively about at this point in time could actually even be your own partner. And meeting tough times. I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all I can ask of myself. Yeah, guys, so it could even be that the person that you do not feel that you are holding highly in your heart at the moment is actually very much, I'm getting like, that's what I was saying before about family relationships and whatnot. I'm getting the idea that this is someone who's very important to you. It's not just someone who ticked you off the other day on the road or during a work shift or something. It's someone who actually really does mean a lot to you. And bereavement obviously can also speak to things like divorce. You can definitely, or you do definitely grieve relationships when they have come to an end. So I even wonder as this goes on, and particularly here with the money card, if this is a reading for someone who has, or for people who have recently split with their someone and are struggling with moving on from that, moving through this situation. Maybe you have been left financially worse off for whatever is going on. Maybe you actually do not want the relationship to end and you are struggling through this transformation and transition. That's the word I'm looking for, not transformation, transition during this time. If that is you, I am very, very sorry. That really sucks. I have been there and it's not fun. So we'll try to get some love and light mantra cards to bring in a little bit of light into this reading. For some of you, it could quite literally be that you don't have contact with family members who at some point maybe were either financially supportive towards you, or in the cases of some people, maybe you have been written out of an inheritance. That's what popped into my mind when I saw this one about the empty wallet. And as I said that, all of these cards decided that they wanted to pop out. Thoughts blossoming into reality. I am a powerful conscious creator. Everything my thoughts touch blossom into reality. Yep, under here, with releasing all resistance to money and allowing it to flow freely into my life. So if you are in a situation that it's a broken relationship, you're carrying around a lot of negativity, you've been left with finances that are maybe in disarray or just no finances, this is letting you know that it's time to start turning those thoughts around and think positively about your situation and your future. And if death do us part has not been your path, this is asking you not to feel bad about that, but to focus on what is blossoming into your life, that your thoughts will bring things into fruition. Let go. I let go of fear and worry about the past or future and immerse myself in the present moment. That is really spot on, guys. Yeah, you've been asked to, and I don't want to be that tarot reader that's like, just let go of all the negative thoughts and then everything in your life is going to be fine, because that's really not how it works. In order to let go of the negative thoughts, you need to be able to what's the word I'm looking for, to be able to apply them into something else, to be able to send them in another direction. Negative thoughts is a huge amount of energy, and you can't take that energy and just switch it off and then be good to go. You need to channel that. That's what I'm looking for. Channel that into something else, something better, something healthier, something kinder to you, that allows you to then, yeah, be able to release that energy out into the world. And that could very literally be spending time outside, maybe starting a garden for some people, taking care of houseplants, but it could be going for a walk, could be heading down to the local park if that's the best that you can do for nature, just to be around some trees. I just want to get one or two more, please, Spirit, from the manifestation cards. But yeah, this self-care reading, self-love reading feels very much like you are walking away or have walked away from things that were not in your highest regard, but you're still dealing with the aftermath of how that feels to have done that. My beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. So again, like I said, that will only be a very select few of you, but if you are still here, I'm hoping to get us just some more concrete answers on how we can move through this at this point in time, because just letting go is not ideal advice in my opinion. Okay, no, nothing really wants to jump out. Self-love, that's pretty perfect for a self-love reading. I am awakened to the inner essence of my being and therefore can clearly see everyone's inner beauty, which then ties back to this card over here and this one about holding those in your heart, even that are the most difficult to love. So the more you pour your energy into you and loving yourself and not focusing on whoever it is that has got you feeling very negative, feeling like you have an empty wallet, maybe sitting here grieving the fact that there will no longer be a till death do us part, knowing that you are doing the best that you can for yourself, and that's all that you can ask of yourself, and then really pouring that energy and that focus into you and self-love in order to be able to let go of whatever negativity it is that you're carrying with you. And now to get some information about what you can do in terms of turning that into a reality. That's perfect that we got the self-love card right before I pulled out the cards, little ways to make a big change. And with these ones, they actually have, the cards are split up into these categories. So happiness, mindfulness, confidence, anxiety-free, and self-care. So we're going to pull a few cards from this rather large deck to be able to give you something that your spirit, your higher self, the universe wants you to do right now for your self-love. And I'm going to pull a couple so you can pick something that feels the most resonant with you. You might get like have a bath and you don't have a bath in your place, although you can always just do a little like sponge bath with a bowl type of situation. But yeah, to get a few so that you can choose whatever resonates the most with you as something to do to take care of yourself. All right, I'm just going to cut these cards because I feel like I'm cheating because I can see the colors. So we've got orange, which was anxiety-free. And we have pink, which was self-care. And I'll grab one more. Whoops, that one was a jumping card. Yay. And we have blue, which was mindfulness. Okay, so that's pretty perfect. We've got anxiety-free, self-care, and mindfulness. So kicking off with the anxiety-free, moderate, don't try to eliminate. That is exactly what I was saying before about channeling, refocusing, redirecting your energy from grief and negative thinking and stress and worries into something else. It's not something that you are going to be able to eliminate. So you need to find ways to work around these things to redirect your focus and your thoughts so that then you're not stuck stressing and overthinking about whatever it is that is holding you in this negative place and wearing you down. So moderate, don't try to eliminate. Take the middle ground. Anxiety is hardwired and at times a useful response, so you will never banish it from your life altogether, but you can learn how to manage it and control it, and that's the good news you need to know and believe in. So yes, anxiety, you definitely can learn to manage it and control it. Again, definitely way more difficult for some people than for others, so not trying to minimize anyone's experience, but you can try to minimize anxiety by giving yourself self-love, by saying affirmations to yourself, by consciously letting go, even if you have to do it over and over and over, of those nagging thoughts that are in your head or that person who's living rent-free in there and driving you crazy. Don't let guilt run the show. Again, if you have moved out of someone's life or they've moved out of yours, you could be experiencing a lot of guilt, and you could also feel guilty to let go of the grief as well. That's something that a lot of people can have a tendency of doing, is they feel if they let go of the grief, they must have never loved that person in the first place, and that isn't true. Life goes on and you are allowed to be happy and to see a bright, shiny future for yourself. So don't let guilt run the show. It's all too easy to feel guilty about self-care. For most of us, that's a big reason why it gets pushed to the bottom of the priority pile. We feel guilty because we perceive that self-care is selfish or indulgent, but nothing could be further from the truth. Self-care is hard and it requires you to be disciplined. Self-care equals self-respect. Respect yourself and then you'll take care of yourself. When you are asked, that's not even in there. When you take care of yourself, you feel good about yourself. In that positive mindset, you will be better able to care well for others. So drop the guilt. By looking after yourself, you are looking after your family and future too. That's beautiful because that's reflected over here with this card saying that when you are becoming grounded, when you become grounded, nurtured, and assisted, I really bugged that. When you are connecting to the deepest core of Mother Earth and becoming grounded and nurtured, you are assisting in fostering the soul of the world. Glad we finally got that out, guys. Oh my goodness. So yeah, very much if you are taking care of yourself, you are then filling your cup, which allows you to pour from it to be able to take care of others that care about you and that you care about. So letting go of this negativity, but finding different ways to actually channel it into taking care of yourself. And then lastly, this is probably the only one that's even given us any real concrete advice on how to do that, and it is starting your day in gratitude. Have a pen and paper handy at your bedside each morning and write down 3 things for which you are grateful. Do this daily and observe the positive impacts. Beautiful. With changing your thoughts in order to bring whatever it is that you are thinking about into reality, so you're not focused on the negative. With that saying, where attention goes, energy flows. Starting your day in gratitude so that you are reminded each and every day what you do have to be grateful for. My gorgeous soul peeps and soul fam, if you're watching this, it means you have access to the internet. You likely have a phone or some sort of device that you can be watching it on. It can just be those tiny little things that you need to remind yourself of in order to be able to help move those negative thoughts into a different direction. But yeah, with here, thoughts blossoming into reality, here releasing money fears, here starting your day with gratitude. If you are, even if you haven't split up with someone, maybe you're just experiencing money situations that have come about from people that were either previously in your life or just, yeah, I'm thinking like not necessarily in a relationship sense, but maybe people you have encountered over time. It could be related to anything, but you are being asked at this point in time to prioritize yourself, try to focus on what good you do have in your life, and try to let that negative energy go so that you can feel as though you are holding the love in your heart for the world's love in your heart. This all sounds very pithy. I'm very, very aware of that, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. But allow love to flow through you, with self-love being the key to unlocking much better things for yourselves. So my beautiful collective, if you stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. Like if the reading did resonate in any way, bit scared if anyone wanted to comment, because I feel like, well, to be honest, I feel like this would be such a very small percentage of the views that I do get. So I am curious to know if anybody actually did resonate with this reading and went, yeah, you know what, there's some asshole that was in my past that has left me financially much worse off, and it's been really difficult not to just send hate their way, even just mentally, because it has really left me grieving and struggling and not in a great position. So if that's you, maybe just drop a heart and I will know that I've connected with someone. And if it's not, but you've stuck with me this long, still, we've got the message here of self-love and allowing yourself that time, which is literally what you're doing if you're sitting down listening to this reading. You're allowing yourself some time to just focus on what you need, and you are absolutely allowed to do that. So if that's all we take from this reading today, I will still be grateful. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you in another reading. Bye.